This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
There's been a lot of talk about Donald Trump and this phone call issue, the over 7 hours of phone logs from Trump's White House that are now missing. There's a gap in the information. We all know, as reasonable people, that Donald Trump absolutely was on the phone while the insurrection was playing out, the failed coup attempt, while the thousands of individuals were violently storming the United States Capitol, our United States Capitol, in an attempt to overturn a free and fair election, to overthrow our government and install Donald Trump as their righteous God king. That's what they wanted. There weren't Biden flags out there insurrecting the Capitol. There were Trump. There were Blue Lives Matter flags. There were Confederate flags with Trump's face emblazoned upon them. That's who was out there. And these phone calls that Donald Trump is covering up will lead us to information that we want to have of other people who were involved in orchestrating and carrying out that very insurrection. I'm going to read a little bit from this Guardian article that I would encourage you to go and read the rest of, because I'm only reading a few paragraphs from it. Revealed, the Guardian says, Trump used White House phone for call on January 6th that was not on official call log. Trump's call to Republican senator should have been reflected in the presidential call log on day of Capitol attack, but wasn't. You see, like many criminals, Donald Trump is a dumb guy. And it's like the old adage or the story that it's easier to tell the truth because it's hard to keep your lies straight. The truth is easy to tell. You know the story, you tell the truth. But when you're lying about something, you gotta count on all your fingers and toes, the different variations of the story that are not true, that are lies. And Donald Trump, it looks like, has stepped upon his member. I will keep it PG, because all of the calls, some of the calls that were absolutely made, that we know were made from a White House phone number. And how were those call logs manipulated, molested, as it were, in an effort to conceal who was called? Donald Trump used an official White House phone to place at least one call during the Capitol attack on January 6th last year that should have been reflected in the internal presidential call log from that day, but was not, according to two sources familiar with the matter. The former president, the ex-president, called the phone of Republican Senator Mike Lee with a number recorded as 202-395 and then 0000, a placeholder number that shows up when a call is incoming from a number of White House department phones, the source said. So we know. It's like when you call a business and they've got a series of numbers that are all dedicated to that particular business. 202, it's the area code here in DC, 721, and then the four-digit extension. It's the same with the White House, except it's 202-395. The number corresponds to an official White House phone, and the call was placed by Donald Trump himself, which means the call should have been recorded in the internal presidential call log that was turned over to the House Select Committee investigating the Capitol attack. Trump's call to Lee was reported at the time, as well as its omission from the call log by the Washington Post and CBS, but the origin of that call is coming from an official White House phone, which has not been previously reported, raises the prospect of tampering or deletion by Trump White House officials. And why would that surprise us? We already know Donald Trump has no affection for law or rules or regulations. He has no adherence to how to handle classified up to top secret material. When he made off with more than a dozen boxes, some of them containing high-level classified information in boxes in Mar-a-Lago that the contents of which couldn't even be described. That's how top secret. So Donald Trump doesn't care Why would we think it would be beneath him to tamper with official White House call records? Come on. It also appears to mark perhaps the most serious violation of the Presidential Records Act, the statute that maintains preservation of White House records pertaining to a president's official duties, by the Trump White House concerning January 6 records to date. A spokesperson for Trump did not immediately respond to a request for comment because of course they didn't. What are they going to say? Nothing but lies. I mean, Donald Trump's already said, I don't even know what a burner phone is. What? And now John Bolton's come out and made the round saying, I've heard him use the word burner phone. He absolutely knows what it is. There's lawsuits that have been filed by Donald Trump where they refer to burner phones multiple times in the lawsuit. Donald Trump is a liar. He knows what a burner phone is. Trump called Lee at 2:26 p.m. on January 6th through the official 202-395-0000 White House number, according to call detail records reviewed by The Guardian and confirmed by two sources who spoke on the condition of anonymity. The call was notable as Trump mistakenly dialed Lee. Again, dumb. He mistakenly dialed Lee. But was put on, he meant to call Tommy Tuberville. Lee passed the phone to Tuberville, who told Trump Mike Pence had just been removed from the Senate chamber as rioters stormed the Capitol, giving Donald Trump information, necessary information, if indeed he was, and I believe he was, intimately involved in what took place during the insurrection. Now, there is some consternation about whether or not this was, because it wasn't in the presidential daily diary, which is discretionary, whether that call would be in there, but it is not discretionary whether or not it should be in the presidential call record. Any call made by the President of the United States is your business as an American. You don't just get to cover it up. Unless, of course, it's classified or contains classified information, which why would this call contain classified information? That may be the excuse that gets talked about by Trump. Maybe. We'll see. I will end it with this. It was not immediately clear how a Trump White House official might obfuscate or tamper with the presidential call log, or who might have the authority to make such manipulations. But we know that it happened. Without a doubt, absolutely it happened. Otherwise, there would be no gap. What do you think? I would love to know. You can call. Leave me a brief voicemail. A brief voicemail. 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Thank you today for your time. I appreciate you. Follow me on social media. You can yell and scream and tell me just how wrong about everything I am there. I'm at Dollemore. And I'm losing my voice. If you appreciate what I do and I bring you some value, if you like watching me sip coffee, please consider supporting and producing what I do here. You can click the join button below this video, become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are fantastic ways to help support what I do here on YouTube. Patreon is absolutely not just for the audio podcast, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to, it's a good time. You should subscribe to I Doubt It Podcast. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.